Absolutely delighted to welcome Andy Barham today. Welcome, Andy.
How you doing?
And Andy has actually been with the Markey Group for about 15 years. But in 2014, he took over as Managing Director of Premier Kitchens and Furniture. So Andy's seen quite a lot of change in his time there. Ups and downs like all of us, COVID and all of those things and business challenges we've had to go through. And so today, Andy's going to give you a bit of an insight into how the business is going, how they've overcome some of those challenges, the growth that they're seeing in the business, which is exciting, but also how they've managed some of those challenges with the cost of living, energy, etc. So, Andy, over to you.
Thank you very much. So we're in our 34th year here at Premier, part of the Markey Group, and we were born out of the construction business, so we kind of really intimately know that. So we're a bit of a unique supplier to the construction industry with a sister company in the business. Predominantly, we've always been social housing. That's what we were born out of. We really grew through the Decent Homes programme when everybody was guaranteed bathroom, kitchen, windows, etc. And that really grew the business, but it was 100% of our business. And so when the recession hit in 15, 16, it really hit us hard. We probably lost a third of our business and went into loss making. The strength of the group held that together and saw us through that. And so we were just coming out of the pandemic and looking reasonably good. And then obviously March 2020 hit. We were pretty quick to move and foolhardily, maybe, said that everybody in the business, nobody would lose their job and that we'd come out a better version of ourselves. And I think everybody was fight or flight with COVID, and we definitely were the fight element of it. So to give you quick headlines, we changed the sectors we were looking at. So we went back to, we dropped the student, we dropped student accommodation furniture, and we went back to just core kitchen making. We went back to social housing because I firmly believe that was coming back. And we did developer kitchens as well. We changed our product ranges. We changed a couple of key suppliers, and we did all of that probably in the space of 6 months, as well as taking 20% off the back of our factory, moving furniture. And what that allowed us to do was to rent that out down the bottom and generate some income off that and reduce our business rates at the same time. So we kind of got ourselves really lean because, like all of us, we didn't really know how long that was going to last. And we started performing. And actually, yes, we took advantage of the grant with furlough, but we actually functioned okay. Within that time, we also bought 3 new edge banders. So we cut and edge all our own board as well. And we firmly believed that we would grow. And so we invested at a time when people weren't buying machinery. So we got quite a good deal on some of that. Then when we really looked at where we were from a customer-centric point of view, we did things, for instance, like in the depth of the recession, of COVID, Bristol Council phoned us up and said, we have X amount of homeless people, we have X amount of empty homes, but we need kitchens in them. And we opened up the entire business to provide them with 68 kitchens, I think it was, and then reshut the business again. And we did many things like that for social housing, and it stood us in good stead. And what that allowed us to do really was really get good at focusing on what customer needs. And it gave us an opportunity to grow back from square one. So all those things that because you're in the race, you can't do that. We took advantage of that. What I also did at that time was, if we were going to go on a growth spurt, I really had a good look at myself and whether I was good enough to drive a business that hard. I'm left school with 1 poor A level, and sort of just worked really hard to get to where I got to, and no formal education behind that. So I signed up for Lead with Quolux at that time. I'm now doing Gold and doing the MBA. So there was a 12-month period while I was doing Lead where we were also going through this exit from COVID, and we could see growth happening. What also happened was 2 of our competitors kind of imploded. One through an M&A, a merger and acquisition with Magnet Kitchens, just found themselves really all at sea. And so their service levels went through the floor. Then another company that we compete against lost their way with COVID, probably tried to cut it too fine with furlough, didn't service, and their lead time went out. And average lead time is 7 to 10 days for a kitchen. Their lead time was out at 2 months. They even sent a letter out to competitors saying, to their customers saying, to the social end of it, we can't provide you kitchens for 6 months, but if you can just wait for us. Well, of course they didn't. So we picked that work up. So we realized we needed a vehicle to really engage with our colleagues and staff and drive this forward. So we re-engineered our mission, purpose, values, and set ourselves some goals. So I've realized it's behind me, but it's probably in reverse for you guys. But we re-engineered our mission into ensuring delivery of British-made kitchens. So it really is what it says on the tin, because that's at the heart of what we do. It's customer-centric. So everybody knows that our mission is to ensure delivery of British-made kitchens. Our purpose, we arrived at changing lives for the better. So just because it's social housing, if someone's got £1,000 spent, we firmly believe that that should be the best kitchen for £1,000 we can possibly put in that home. And we really personalised it by saying, you know, that kitchen, we have to put a 20-year warranty on our kitchens in social housing. And so for 20 years, there's going to be X amount of families go through that. And there's going to be births, deaths, marriages, makeups, breakups, parties. And that's kind of the heart of the home. And we're creating that. Now, we make a kitchen cabinet every 45 seconds, fully assembled, hinges on, handles on, legs on, and they're dropping off the end of the line. And that's kind of our production. So there's roughly 10 to a kitchen. So it takes us 450 seconds to make a kitchen. There's a lot of work goes behind that, but that's the actual output at the very end. And so we had to personalize it. It's not just lumps of wood. There's something else behind that. And so that was really key to what we were doing. The other element of changing lives for the better is for our colleagues. Our average length of service for our 120 staff is 11 years. And this coming year, I've got 22 people who will go through a service milestone that we have. They'll either go through 10, 15, 20 or 25 years service. So we've got some real long stayers, and they deserve rewarding for sticking with us when it got tough and not leaving. So that changing lives for the better is how do we give those people meaningful and rewarding careers and give back. So we had an action day in April where we launched this, and we stopped the entire business. We had everybody in, all of the remote sales, the remote surveyors, and we all got together for the first time at our factory here. And I came up with these, what I've called the 4 Ps. A lot of people are doing it with 3: planet, people, and profit. We included productivity. If you look at where Britain sits in manufacturing around the world, it's horrendous. Our output rates, productivity rates, efficiency rates, OEE, overall equipment efficiency, whichever way you want to measure that metric, we are mid-table at best around the world. And so I wanted to really enhance that productivity, because for me, they kind of flow. If we look after our people goal and we increase productivity, the profit will follow, and then we can reinvest that back into the planet. And if you don't do them in that order, it just becomes a cash drain. By doing all some of this stuff, you've got to be able to fund it. And so our planet goal we set them for 2026. So we've got 4 Ps to achieve in 4 years, which is, we'd love to get to net zero. The reality is it's probably carbon neutrality, but that's our planet goal. We've always been IIP standard for 20 years now, but we want IIP gold. So we set that as our 2026. Productivity, 30% per head based on revenue per head is the stretching goal I've put in. And we want to consistently grow net profits. So every year, year in, year out, my percentage profit of revenue, I want to grow and get it into a double digit if we can, which for manufacturing is phenomenal. It's amazing that when you start to measure something, you achieve it. And so IIP, we had a review in September, and we achieved, well, we would have achieved silver if we had the guts to go for it. We actually just went for standard. So, but she said to us, you'd have achieved silver if that was the case. So that was fabulous. So we've got 3 years now to get to gold. Productivity, we've seen a 22% increase already in the last 12 months by focusing on it. So for those that know, I'm fairly competitive outside of work with what I do with ultra running and stuff like that. So we've already moved that now to say, well, actually, we want 30% now on that. So we want another 30% now. And profits, November, we had our largest ever sales revenue month, and net profit was 7.5%. And it's 1 month, and that doesn't make a year, but it gave everybody an amazing insight to what we are capable of. What we also introduced is what we call PRP, profit related pay. And so every member of the staff from outside the SLT receive the same pound note number. I don't believe in percentage bonuses because we all spend the same pound note, and therefore 5% to one person and 5% to another person is different. So it was pound note numbers. And so by achieving a level of pounds per unit cost, without boring you with all the details of that, on a scale, they achieved that. So everybody in December, based on November's performance, got £150. And that's the kind of rate that we're looking to do now, month in, month out. In terms of kind of headlines of where we think we're going to be, sales, we've moved from last year to where we think we'll be this year, end in March. We'll have moved sales from 12 million to 17 million, 40%. Gross profit will be up 32%, volume will be up 28%, and net selling price will be up 13%. We haven't been shy about putting our price up. I think that's probably, if you had to, out of all the other stuff we're doing, the actual just commercial element of it is we started to get our confidence back and recognise our value of what we do and that we're good at it. And so therefore we want to charge for that. So I always say to customers, we're kind of the Marks and Spencers of what we do. If you think about food, we're really, really good, but it does cost. And so if people are willing to do that and you're willing to stand behind your product and service, then don't be afraid of that. So in investments, like I said, we did the 3 edge banders. We put solar panels on the roof. It's something we were toying with for a while, and then we kind of did it in the summer. And there were days in the summer where we were generating all of our electric for the entire day, obviously until it goes dark. Now, obviously, it's less, but yeah, we're probably taking a third off our electric bill. Our electric bill was 300,000, and at its height, when we were out of contract and nobody was signing up to contracts, we were facing about a 1.1 million bill. We're back down at about 600,000 now, 500,000. And so we've got a full year coming up with the solar, so that'll be interesting how that goes. We committed to all company cars and fleet cars going to electric or hybrid, so we're in the process of doing that. We've put 12 car charging points at the front. They're free to staff. They just log in. And we've got the infrastructure already put in as well in the tarmac when we did those 12 to do another 24. And we've taken delivery of 3 of 8 HGV vehicles that we've placed all at category 6 so that we can go into the cities and kind of do that.
Fantastic.
So really, we're just about to sort of reset the strategy for the next 12 months from April. So we've got another action day planned where we'll stop the business again and bring everybody up to speed where we are, which we do every quarter. But to really celebrate that, I don't think we've been great at that in the past. We've always looked forward instead of reflecting back. And so, yeah, it's a continual journey. But really, the next 12 months for me is about working with the SLT and the management team so people understand that line thread to our 2026 visions. What does a good day look like to me? And that's back to basics now. So I want everybody to be able to go home and understand, was what they did a good day or a bad day? And how did that contribute to that strategy? So we need to produce 10,000 panels a day. So did that team do that? And every day they can greet red, amber, green. How many orders did we put on? How many lorries did we load? How many this? Real simple metrics, and get rid of all the rubbish and just get down to about 8 or 10 measures, which if every day they're green, it's been a good day, and then the finance will follow. So that's really our focus for the next coming year.
Fantastic. And, what I'm hearing this morning is obviously, a lot of investment in yourself as a leader and also in your people. You're doing a lot with your people this year because that's the way that you see investing in your people, a lot of transparency, a lot of taking them on that journey with you. That seems to be a real big part of the culture of your business going forward.
Yeah, we did this. It was twee, and, we have some fun with it. And again, for those that know me, I'm not particularly stoic or non-emotional. And so we have some fun with it. And so we did something called biscuits with Barham, which is a terrible thing, but I've been in manufacturing all my life, and food or drink is normally what gravitates people. So we did mixed groups, and I sat with groups of 10. So I did 12 of them. I met with every member of staff after our action day. I made them all a cup of tea, and there was one question on the flip chart, which was, how can I help you do your job better? And that's what we did. And everybody had an hour with me, and we went through it, and we're going to repeat that. And it was nuggets that came out of it. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So
I love that. Biscuits with Barham.
The evening with the remote guys, because it was an evening, it came beers with Barham in the evening, and everybody had a drink.
Well,
So
I
I
was
did
going
it
to
on
say,
two.
if I wasn't doing dry January, it'd be alcohol with Angela.
That's it, exactly. But honestly, it was brilliant. It took this seriousness out of it.
Yeah.
And you know, for somebody off the shop floor to come and sit in a room, that takes some doing. So we did it in the canteen. So it was on their turf, make them feel comfortable. Because I was that soldier. I started off on the shop floor, so it's very easy for me to put myself in those shoes. And yeah, it was really powerful, that stuff.
It's fantastic, and it has been a difficult time for people in business, and all of the challenges that we've had, and we continue to have. And it's just really lovely to hear positive stories and how you are taking your people on that journey with you, and actually how that really has started to show positively in the business as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us this morning.